Hi, I'm Amanda Paldau. I'm the owner of Triad Tutoring, and today we are working on Test 1, Section 3, number 17 in the official SAT study guide. So let's start by taking a look at the problem. So this is a good one to talk about being careful with reading the problem and labeling everything in your diagram. So the lengths represented by AB, EB, BD, and CD on the sketch were determined to be 1,800 feet, 1,400 feet, 700 feet, and 800 feet respectively. So let's take a look then. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a square around AB. And then I'm going to put a square around 1,800 because respectively means in order, right? So where AB is, 1,800 is in the same spot. That's what AB equals, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and come up to my diagram and label AB. So 1,800. Then I would do the same thing. So EB, I'm going to put a circle around it. And then I'm going to come down here and see what's the second on the list of measurements, 1,400. So EB is 1,400. That way, if I'm actually making some notations, I can be sure that I'm matching up the right line segments with the right measurements. So let's try BD. How about I just do an underline under BD? And then the third measurement is 700 feet. So BD is 700. And my last measurement here, CD, we can do a triangle for CD. And the last measurement, 800 feet. So CD is 800. Now that I have everything measured, now I can deal with what they're asking for. So they are asking for the length of X feet. And we have one more piece of information here. So they also tell us that AEB and CDB are equal. And they nicely already labeled the diagram for us, right? Now, the other thing I know is that this angle here and this angle here are also congruent. They're called vertical angles, which means you've got the same two lines that make up those angles. They're just on opposite sides. So those are equal. In a triangle, I know that every triangle adds up to 180 degrees. So if I know that these two angles are the same as these two angles, then I know that their third angles must also be the same. And that's some of those theorems that you learned way back in geometry that might be a little bit rusty, right? And because they have two triangles where all three angles are the same, those are called similar triangles, right? So similar triangles, what we know about them is they're getting bigger by the same amount, right? So what I want to look at is what sides are in the same spot. So see how this 700 is diagonal from the angle with three lines here? And this 1,400 is diagonal. It's across from the angle with three, right? So those equal angles are 700 and 1,400 in the two triangles, which means that this little triangle is half the size of this big triangle, right? So now if I wanted to know how big X is, then I know that it's twice as big, right? So if this side is 800, then the side with X would be 1,600. And that's my answer. Okay, thanks for watching.